Sure.
Good morning, everyone. Today on the podcast, we have with us Riten, sir. He's a founder of Fueler.io. Many of you might know him through his Twitter, right? He's pretty active on Twitter and building Fueler in public on Twitter. Welcome on the podcast, sir.
Yeah. So thank you, Jay. It means a lot, for inviting me and like the Fueler whole community. So it feels like, I am here speaking in front of you, but it's like I'm representing the whole Fueler community, right? The community that trusts in the idea of proof of work, right? So yeah, thanks once again. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Fantastic. My first question to you is, sir, how was your early education look like and how did that go? Your early life education, what did you do in your
Okay,
graduation?
okay,
And
okay.
yeah.
Sure. So I come from a unconventional background when it comes to entrepreneurship. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I come from a defense background. Okay, like my dad is in military. Okay, so for that reason I was fortunate to travel different places. Okay, and for that reason I was into different schools. Like met new friends, new people, and that thing somehow helped me understand human nature in life. Okay, it helped me make new friends in life. Right. So I feel my education was quite good. I was always that studious guy. Okay, like studying and preparing really well for the exam and stood like there was this thing. I had to stood first every year, right? So that was my
Yeah.
goal. I feel like for me, my goal was set for every year that dude, I have to like work really hard, study really hard, and I have to score really well in my exam. So I'm not regretting for that because that way I learned a lot of things. Okay, that way
Yeah.
I read the whole books, or maybe you can say I always try to go extra mile, to prepare best, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was pretty much my education, and until 12th, it was pretty good. I was not sure of what exactly I'm going to do next because when you come from a defense background, most of the time you are expected to join the same
Defense
thing,
army.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same again, army. So that's when I decided to like I have to change this game. I have to do something else. And there's an interesting thing that my whole background is from defense background. Okay, so if you take any relative I have, okay, but right from my
Everyone is in
like
defense.
yeah, exactly. They're in defense. Like my like brothers, like cousin brothers, and how do I put this? Like most of my relatives, it's like 90% of my relatives are in defense. Okay, and it's pretty crazy that I choose a different line, and I had to because I wanted to try something else, right? So that is
Yeah.
why I guess I decided like let me go on pursue for computer science, and I guess that is also decided in just 1 month. Okay, I never had this idea that I'll be doing for computer science. But in just 1 month, I decided because the world is going through digital transformation, right? So I guess this would
When
be a
was
very
this time? Like, what year was this?
it was in 2014. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Fantastic.
2014. So that was a time when I decided in just a month that like I have to go pursue this career. Before that, I was pretty much sure about going for civil engineering. Then after that, I'll be going for what like the military thing. Okay, so like that was pretty much clear in my mind, like right from my class 10th, 11th, and 12th. But after the exams are over and stuff, so I thought of like no, I guess I have to go for computer science because it seems pretty attractive to me. Also, I was so enjoying the whole digital transformation that I was having. Also,
That
I
was the at
remember,
that time also the new tech companies like Flipkart and Amazon were also
yeah,
emerging in India. Like, yeah.
yes. Yeah, it was there. But the thing is, I was, so away from all of this now. And I feel this is one of the bad part when you come from small towns and remote places in India, right? So, like, I'm based
Yeah.
out of Agartha. It's a small town in Northeast India. So, I guess that is something I currently regret, or you can say this is something you don't have control over, right? So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
basically had no exposure about all of this happening in the world. It just I was so curious about the internet. I was so blown about the internet thing that I could search anything I want and I can learn anything I want, right? So I was like I guess this is something I would be interested in my career, right? So that is it. After that, I went for my higher studies. Like it was outside my hometown. It was in Calcutta, and I guess that was one of my best career decision I took. That moving out of my home for higher studies because and that is when you explore the real world. That is when you make
Yeah.
new friends. You go out of a comfort zone. Also,
To
you
get the
take up
exposure.
responsibility. Exactly, exposure. Also, you take up responsibility being a person, right? What exactly you are capable of doing. Right? It's
Like
also a
because you are
great way.
independent there and you are only alone there, you have to take care of your own
Yes,
self, right? Yeah.
exactly. So you become responsible. Also, somewhere it helps you become a person where you don't you are not you're not off track. You're focused, right? Dude, I have to do this. I have to do that. and this is what my result is, and this is what I'm going to do in my life, right? So I guess that is very important when you go out, and I recommend most of my friends, and you can say like community members, that if possible, if it is allowed in your home, please take this leap of faith and go outside of your home for higher studies, because that 4 years are going to define you. It is going to build you as a person, right? Also, it also depends on you, right? What path you are choosing, right? If you are choosing good companies, right, the good friend circle, you're definitely
Yeah.
going to have a good place, right? So totally on you as well. So college was the time when I first tasted the thing of entrepreneurship, and it all happened because of serendipity again. It was because of I still remember I was coming out of my college gate, okay, and
Yeah.
I guess it was my second day of my college, okay.
Uh-huh.
So some seniors were outside of my college, okay. They were
Uh-huh.
standing and they were asking, "Hey, come here," okay. So I was like, "Dude, go on." You have to go for you have to go give your intro and stuff. But to my surprise, those seniors were quite humbling. Also, they were so welcoming that asked me, "Hey, like, what do you do? Like, what are your interests? Okay, like, what are your like hobbies? Okay, what do you do? Like, what is your name? Where are you from and stuff?" And it was pretty basic, and they told me, "Do you know about entrepreneurship? Do you know about this startups thing here? Today you use this, today you use that, today you order this from that. Do you know how all of this happened?" I guess that was the defining moment for me in my life when I discovered entrepreneurship. I was like, "Dude, like, this is very crazy. This is
Yeah.
what I'm interested to do, right?" And I have always this people person, where I love connecting with people. Also, I was in my school days, in class 12, I was this head boy, right? So for that reason, I
Wow.
love responsibility. I love taking responsibility. Also, somewhere this leadership thing came naturally to me, right? Where I could,
Yeah.
explain people, I could, convince them, I could make them, do things that what it is required or not, right? So
Exactly.
that was the time that I feel like, okay, entrepreneur is something I could really think of. And I guess it was in my second year when I thought of starting off my some side project, okay. And that's when I applied my entrepreneurship knowledge and read a lot of books, and from that I learned product management, marketing, sales, and everything. You can say it was like a 4 year of exercise for me. Along with engineering, I was learning entrepreneurship, right? So that side project did really well. Even today, I get appreciation for that project, okay. And it has helped me gain, some what credibility with my friends, with my teachers, right? So that was the time
That
I
project acted like as a proof of work for your brand,
exactly,
the personal
exactly,
brand.
exactly. And I would still say this, that time I had no idea of proof of work and nothing, okay.
Yeah.
But to make that idea, that side project successful, or to read books. So I also took up freelancing in my colleges. It's because I needed to learn, okay. I
Yeah.
needed what books to learn, right? Because see, I had so respect for these authors that, dude, I am going to respect you by buying your book, right? And for that I need money, and for that I started freelancing or and stock
Yeah.
market. And that was the time I learned stock market, okay.
Yeah.
And yes, so that was my kick, that, dude, I have to make money, and from that I can buy books. And that is when I guess, I understood this fact quite naturally, that if you want to get a client, show them what you can do. Like, why
Correct.
that person is going to trust you? If that
Correct.
person needs this, go show him this. Like, just tell them, "Hey, like, I can do the same for you. Would you like it?" I guess that was the thing. That was the time that was the time when the idea of proof of work planted, okay, inside my head, right?
Yeah.
So, and most of my until, like, 2021, before starting Fueler, I have worked with more than 70 plus brand, and it was all because of, again, proof of work, word of mouth, okay, and referrals, okay, and all of those
Correct.
opportunities were inbound, okay. That was the craziest part that I had, where they loved my work, they saw my work, and they were like, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And you didn't believe, there were so many instances where, a client who might have paid me 10,000 or 20,000 have brought me clients who have paid me 10 lakhs and above, right? And it was all because of
Wow.
proof of work,
Wow.
right? So
It compounds,
yeah,
right? Basically, it starts with
exactly.
small bits, and then it exponentially raises to that curve.
Exactly, exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy how things work, right? So that
Exactly.
was pretty much about like early education. Like, I did my engineering. I'm a computer science graduate, okay, and I am a proud engineer. I'm a happy engineer, by the way, because I don't think if it was some other career option, I would have learned anything. But
Yeah.
because of this, I have to explore a lot of things, right? So yeah, this is it.
Yeah. The thing that you talked about freelancing, right? I was just before this podcast, like 2 to 3 days back, I was listening to the podcast of Ishan Sharma with Tanay Pratap, right? That when Tanay Pratap was saying that freelancing is a career option wherein you get paid to learn, right?
Yeah,
like for example, the clients will pay you to learn this new skill, and then you will learn the
Yeah.
skill and implement that, right?
Correct.
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
fantastic.
That is totally correct. Absolutely, yeah. And also like it helps you, become that person where you understand marketing, sales, customer relation, right? And you can say entrepreneurship, like before entrepreneurship, freelancing is that proxy time. You can say it's like a probation
Mm,
time to learn how entrepreneurship works, right?
correct.
So being a freelancer, you are going to be that one man army, right? You are going to take care of a lot of things together, right? Though I don't recommend people to go start with freelancing early in their career, because you wouldn't be able to make impact or say depth in your own profile, because most of the freelancing opportunities are like has a fine line. Okay, so fine, what
Yeah,
do I mean by that is you are expected to do this job and done, right?
yeah,
But when you're taking a full-time job in your career early in your career, it helps you explore different synergies, right? It explores you,
correct,
takes a lot of skin in the game. But in case of freelancing, most of the time you are being limited to until certain extent, right? So if you are expected to do this job, so you deliver the job, you get paid, done. But in case of full-time job, you can take ownership, right? You can literally act like a founder there, right? You can
correct,
literally act like a person that, dude, I can do everything and I'm going to do it done, right? Make it done. So you have a better impact and depth of your personality when you go for full-time job. And this is the reason I recommend people, please find a way to get into some startups, at least a startup where you're going to work directly with the founders, and take the full responsibility and accountability to everything that you do, right? Because when you're able to deliver now, you're going to be in a better position down the line 5 years, right?
correct.
So it is always great to have that.
Like because in freelancing you are like narrow, your scope of work is narrowed down to this small
Yes,
niche, but when in
yes,
startup you are like you are the only one who is going to handle tech. So if everything
yeah,
breaks down, it's your responsibility to fix that up, right?
correct,
And when you
correct,
get that responsibility at your side, it's gonna act both ways, right? If anything goes around, it's your responsibility. If anything goes up, it's
yes,
also your responsibility.
yes.
So that way
Skin
you
in the
have also
game.
skin in the game, right?
Exactly. Skin in the game is the main keyword. Like in case of freelancing, that is pretty less, you can say. Okay, but when you're working full time, so I guess you can expand your bandwidth, right? You can
Correct,
give more time, and I feel the another keyword for this is commitment, right? So when you're freelancing, most of the time your commitment won't be like much serious compared to when you're working full time, right?
correct,
Also, see, this is totally subjective to person, right? So in my life, I have learned this, like if I'm supposed to start my career again, okay, I'll be going and like just jumping into startup and working with them. And actually I have done this, right? I never cared for money. Okay, back in my career when I was starting out, I just had three things in my mind: food, shelter, and internet. That's it. If I could just cover this three things, I'm done. Okay, and I was literally spending enormous amount of time with founders, learning their business, helping them in any way I could. And that is the reason you can say I was able to understand a lot of things, right? And maybe all of these things are helping me today building Fuller, right?
correct.
So yeah, I would say this: please go find a way where you can go and literally get your hands dirty, right? In startup. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. How did the beginning of Fueler occur then? Like after you graduated, did that happen? Or, after two
Yeah,
to 3 years after you graduated, or within the
yeah,
college
yeah.
you did that?
Sure. So, in my college days, okay, like I often used to get this from my friends, right? So, these friends used to tell me, dude, like, bro, like, why we are doing this degrees and stuff, because there are no job in the market and stuff. So, like, no, this is not true, bro. Like, if you're capable enough, right? So, there are people who are going to hire you, right? So, this is
Exactly.
simple economics, right? This is simple logic, right? If you know something, if you can do something, anybody is going to hire you. They're going to fight for you. Trust me. Okay. So this was a simple. I don't know. Most people still don't get this, but this is as simple as fact, right? If you're capable, if you're like an asset, everybody's going to hire, fight for you, right? So as simple as that. So I was like, this is not true. There are opportunities everywhere. It's just like most of us are not able to get those, right? So I was like, I'll be creating this platform, okay, where I can bring companies, I can bring and show people, see, these are opportunities, apply. As simple as that, right? So that I just so I was in that problem solving mode in my head, dude. That's just very simple problem to solve. Why not? There is this place where I can just find cities as far as I can see opportunities and I can apply, right? Also, I was not much, I haven't explored LinkedIn at that level, okay, that I
Yeah,
could learn a lot of things. It was just like my a college student mindset that I have to solve this problem and let's do it. Okay, so it all started back then when I was trying to create this, but I didn't start it. It was still in the mind that I have to come up with this platform where a person can come and they can see companies in their cities and they can apply. As simple as that. Okay, but when I started building this with my team, okay, 2020 and 2021, you can say that's when we realized that this is not a right model. Why? Because we were inviting franchisee owners without having the IPL team. Okay, so
Got it.
yeah, so that was the time I understood. Okay, we were doing it wrong, right? So we have to
Yeah.
create value, right? We have to build the what we have to talk with the players. We have to train them. We have to build a stadium for them. That is when they can come here. They can play. That is when they are playing well. That is when the people, the franchises, they can see. Okay, this player is good. I'm going to sponsor this player, right? That
Got
is
it.
the right time when I can invite the franchises, right? So we changed the whole, what business model back when I understood this, right? And that's when that was the time when we pivoted the whole model, okay? And from
And
that
then
thing,
you pivoted it to basically players. You can see the players'
yes,
best sixes and the best
yeah,
bowling bowls like that they've done
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
showcase them. And then the franchisee owners can see
exactly.
them.
Exactly. Working on the supply side of the game, right? Where you
Correct.
need to have players first, right? Because see, so like let's understand this, right? Why a franchisee would why they would collaborate with any players? Like, why would you spend? Like, imagine why Spartan got a sponsorship like with Dhoni, right? So only when they saw, okay, Dhoni is someone like MS Dhoni, like is someone who can literally going to be very popular down the line. So let's sponsor him today itself, right? So like it is as simple as that. So in our case, we understood the fact that, look, dude, we have to build this stadium, we have to build this, we have to invite players, we have to make them play so well that the people are going crazy to sponsor them. Okay, it was a
Yeah.
very simple analogy to explain you, right? But
Yeah.
2021, that was the time we pivoted the whole thing, and 15th May we rebranded the whole thing into Fueler. Okay, and if
Wow.
you ask me how we came up with this idea of proof of work, again, Twitter is the Twitter was the turning point for us because we were very much active on Instagram, okay, and we realized
Uh-huh.
Instagram is the right place for your initial product, okay, and
Correct.
also it's subjective, right? So in our
Like
case,
it's basically
we
depends
found
on what different products that you're building, right? Then
product
you should target
exactly,
different social media platforms for the
exactly,
entire game. Yeah.
exactly. Right. So in our case, we understood, the knowledge workers we were looking for, they are not on Instagram right now. Okay. Also, Instagram is not a place where we would find our early adopters, right? So our early adopters were on like what? Twitter. Okay.
Twitter.
So that was the time when we started becoming so active, like engage with people, help them in any way. That is how we build the whole community. Okay. And through that, it has become pretty big right now. It's 20,000, close to 20,000 right now in community, and it's pretty cool that a lot of people selfless coming forward, selflessly helping us, okay, with any way they can. So you can say Twitter was the time when we jumped our whole marketing thing to Twitter, and that's when we found this keyword. Okay, like people are calling this proof of work. Okay, we realized that every person has to do something. So initially we used to use this phrase, show your work, but later on we build the whole narrative around proof of work. Okay, that was the time like nobody's building this, and also this is such a big thing and nobody's seeing opportunity in this, right? So I guess our team and we saw it's like a gold mine, and let's dig into it. And then like we changed the whole business model into like proof of work and like building it since then, right? So yeah, Twitter is the, I guess I would like to thank Twitter for this. A lot of people, we found a lot of people bullish on this idea of proof of work, and we thought of let's build a platform around this so that everybody can come and think of proof of work, right? Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, like the Twitter thing also happened with me, right? Because I was early active on LinkedIn, right? I was like kind of learning in public on LinkedIn and sharing my learnings, but then I realized LinkedIn might not be the right platform, right? Then I started
Okay.
on Twitter, and then gradually the kind of the network
Yeah,
expanded and grew, right? And I
yeah,
learned a lot of things, right? Because Twitter is really a fantastic platform to get user feedback really quickly, right? And
yes,
also learn from a lot of
building
people,
public,
right? They have like
building
fantastic
public.
people out on the Twitter.
Yeah. It works, right? The building public is really useful, and it works for a lot of people, a lot of founders, right? And I like we usually talk, right? I know you from a long time, so I see you do things, right? Killing things. Recently, you participate in the weekend, no code weekend as well, right?
Yeah,
So like so that is the thing I'm trying to say. Like if you build something in public, trust me, there are so many people who are going to help you. right? It's pretty
Exactly.
crazy, right? So yeah, this is it. And in our case, I guess that is what has worked for us. And like Fueler for proof of work, that is something we are totally bullish on, and we are positioning ourselves like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let me just get into the now founder side of you, right? As a founder side of you, like how do you manage the expenses of running Fueler? Like, is it a bootstrap company or it has raised capital? How is that scenario in Fueler look like?
Okay. Okay. So, after my college, okay, like I worked with some of the founders, as I mentioned, right? So we were
Yeah,
freelancing with, okay, we were helping them as a consultant, right? So we worked across multiple products, okay? So through that, we were able to make some decent money, okay? And we saved it, okay? Because, and see, it was on
yeah.
my, like, mind that
We in the sense you and is there another co-founder of Fueler as well?
yeah, we are three, like we are three people right now. So this year
Got it.
itself, I have onboarded two more people. Okay, so like they are together with me because see, I want to build this company really big, right? I have to make it huge. So it's not possible for one person, right? Also, I want to distribute the responsibility and stuff because this way you would have skin in the game, right?
Correct.
So initially it's very hard to find co-founders honestly, and even I didn't
Yeah.
find it. But like like you have to trust somewhere and you have to scale up the game, right? So eventually you can make that position. Also, yes, finding a co-founder is very hard. Trust me, especially if you're early in a career, right? So,
Yeah.
maybe I can talk on this as well. How to find co-founders? Either there is two phases. Either it should start from your college day, or it should be from your work life. Okay, so if you maybe work for 5 to 10 years somewhere, and if you make some decent amount of connection and network, that is how you can find a co-founder. And the other way is finding someone, some of your friends from your college days itself, right? So in my case, I had some of the juniors working with me. So you can say we are right now working for more than 4 years, okay, and we have known each other for 6 years now, okay. So that is
Wow.
the reason they are the perfect fit, and we have that chemistry together, right? So yeah, that is how it has worked for us. And in case of like managing people, like definitely it's very hard, like it's not easy, right? And being an early stage startup, you fight a lot with a small thing, that is clarity, right? What exactly you are doing, okay? Every day you are fighting this one particular thing, like what exactly you are trying to do, okay? And you are trying to
Exactly.
answer that. Yeah, exactly, you are trying to answer this question to like the whole team members. Because see, there are two type of marketing, right? One marketing is outside, okay, outside the team. There is one more marketing, that is internal marketing, right? So how
Mm,
you're communicating about your product to your team members, because that they are the one who are going to tell about Fuller to other people. So if they're not
mm,
clear about the product, so they will fail to answer the questions coming from the public, right? So this is where it's very important for you to understand with how to take care of, you can say, narrative, and like how to take care of product and what exactly you have to do, right? So yeah, this is it.
fantastic.
Like,
Fantastic. Fantastic. Like you mentioned right recently, how do you go about like the managing answering that what in the startup, right? What are we doing, right? How do you do that? How does the communication happen internally and externally in the future?
right. So externally, what I mean by meant by that was like how you're communicating about Fuller to the public, okay, and internally means the team members, okay. Team members, as in, like, for example, if we are currently working, so there are five people full time right now, okay, and apart from that, we have other people, other team members who are helping us, like literally they're working really hard, honestly, okay. And you can say we are close to 10 plus people who are working in a team, okay. And so I
Uh,
guess that thing happens through communication, obviously honest communication, like, then there are weekly calls, okay, and there are queries. And I guess it's pretty hard when you're doing it remotely. Honestly, it's pretty hard. I'm never going to recommend this to any person. If they're building early stage companies, I would say please find a place and go work there. And I guess this is where I'll be answering your question for that, ask regarding the funding thing. Like, so yes, I had in my mind that, for the 2 years I have to go for the bootstrapping way, because that is
yeah,
one of the way you're going to be super focused of what you're trying to do. Because even money can be a very bring noise to your product, right? Because having a lot
correct,
of money can add a lot of noise, right? It would literally
correct,
make you go directionless, right? So in our
correct,
case, I had this in my mind, dude, like I have to go for 2 years straight, okay? We'll be building it, we'll be scaling it, okay, up to 2 years, and make decent traction, so that people are able to validate the product, they know it. That is when we'll be raising fund to scale it further, right? So currently we are in that stage. So we have been bootstrapping for until now. Now we are going to raise funds, and like make it super big, honestly. Okay. Yeah.
fantastic,
That is,
fantastic. all the best for that funding stage.
Thank you so much. I'm pretty excited about that as well. Like we have been able to build some decent traction without having any resources. But I'm very much hopeful that when we have like resources and when we are able to work together in a single place, the buzz would be totally crazy. And honestly,
Correct.
we're going to see a lot of amazing things from your community as well, right? Some fun stuff. And yes, there is something in plan.
Yeah, really excited for that. Uh, my next question to you is, as a founder, right? Mostly, uh, founders are stuck many a times in a zone wherein they have built a product, but no one uses that product. I mean, it is good for nothing kind of a product, right? It doesn't have any market, right? So how do you like define product market fit as first, and how can a founder potentially achieve it, right? Like one
Correct.
of the answers would be to keep on iterating the product and finding it. Like what say do you have on that?
Yeah, of course, of course. So iteration would come when you are talking to people, right? So most of the founders that I get to meet with, okay, they are very much introvert in nature, okay, and that is the like really really hard part. We have to go out of a comfort zone, okay, and also I feel extrovert and introvert. This is mostly our state of mind, okay. If you're a
Correct.
person who is passionate about your idea, you can literally go out talk to people, right? Because
Yeah.
have you seen someone so passionate about talking about their product, their work? So that is something you have to think of, right? So, in order to find a PMC, finding a PMF is very hard. Also, there are so many definitions of PMF again. Okay,
Yeah.
so PMF like has a different definition. Some call it like when people are literally standing outside of your office, like sending stones and throwing stones, right? That hey, why not build that? Why not building this, right? Also, some call it that if you shut down your product for 1 week or one day, if people are asking
Keep.
you questions, yeah, that is when it shows that you have product market fit, right?
Yeah.
So these are some of the things, right? So there are multiple definitions of like what PMF. So in my case, any founder, I would like to tell them, please go talk to your people because that is the only thing you have, okay? And having a
Yeah.
decent traction or having a decent audience is super useful when you're building a product, right? Because
Correct.
who else you are building for? A lot of founders make this mistake of building on their own mind with assumption, and when they take it to the market, nobody is going to use it, right? Nobody is actually paying attention to it, and that is when most of them call their customers and users stupid, and I guess that is the biggest mistake any founder can make, right? So I would always
Yeah.
say, please go talk to your people, have your TG in your mind, like who exactly you are building for, right? And ask them, hey, like I'm building, would you like to try it or not? Because in case of Fueler, we have DM'd 1,000 people. We have DM'd first 1,000 people to onboard, right? To try out Fueler. So imagine like the kind of it took us some time, right? So that is the reason, that is the time when we were able to actually show effort to our community members, right? That was the time when they saw us hustling, right? So I guess it all come down to how you're putting in effort and how people are seeing it. Okay, so no, again, for finding PMF, there is no cookie cutting formula. Okay, and you have to go try it out yourself. The only mistake you can avoid is don't just build it on yourself. Go talk it, go outside, talk to people, go out of your comfort zone, right? Because that is the time when you will get the real insight from people, right? And and without insight, if you're building, trust me, you're making a big mistake. This is one book I would suggest. Read this book, The Mom Test, okay, and The Messy Middle. These two books are very amazing. It would really help you understand how a journey looks like, right? So it will really help you.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's all the questions that I had. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Riten. So it was pleasure hosting you. Like I learned a ton of stuff about startups in general, and like it was really fun conversing with you in general.
Yeah, same here. Like it means a lot for inviting me and obviously the Fueler community. And I wish you all the best. I always see you hustling, and sometime I share your profile as a reference in my community. Okay, so that the people can take inspiration from you, right? So yeah, all the best with
Thank you.
whatever you are doing, right? And I hope we meet soon someday. Okay. Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
Like.